Hello. So, these are the best-selling novels in the US by year. So this goes from 2022 all the way back to 1895. So, this starts in 20, so this was the last time it was updated. 2023 was Quiet H marked by Zellner. I don't know what 2024 was, but yeah, anyway, let's begin. So, start off, so we have It by Stephen King, which was 1986, and then Colleen Hoover, 2022. It ends with Us. We have Dogman, Mothering Heights, Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer, Delia Owens, Where the Crawdads Sing. We have two Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, The Meltdown Hard Luck, Wonder, we have The Girl on the Train, Ghost Set of Watchmen by Harper Lee, The Fault in Our Stars, we have 50 Shades of Grey, and let's get all the John Grisham novels. So we have The Litigators, The Appeal, The Broker, The Summons, and then we have, let's get The Brethren, The Testament, The Street Lawyer, The Partner, The Runaway Jury, and The Rainmaker, and The Chamber. Those are all of the John Grisham works on this list. And Stieg Larsson is The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. And we have The Lost Symbol and Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Da Vinci Code was both 2003 and 2004. And then we have Khaled Hosseini, A Thousand Splendid Suns. Mitch Albom is for One More Day, and is best known for Tuesdays with Maury and Five People You Meet in Heaven. Those are not on this list. We have Desecration, which for some reason takes it without even typing the TION in. And then Robert James Waller is The Bridges of Madison County. And then we have Dolores Claiborne. And then Alexander Ripley is Scarlet, which is the sequel to Gone with the Wind. Jean M. L. is best known for Clan of the Cave Bear, but that's not on this list. The works that are on the list: The Plains of Passage and The Mammoth Hunters. And then we got two Tom Clancy works, Clear and Present Danger. Now, The Cardinal is in 1950. That was by Henry Morton Robinson. That's on page 2. And then The Cardinal in the Kremlin is by Tom Clancy. And then we have The Tommyknockers. And then Stephen King and Peter Straub is The Talisman. James Caan is Return of the Jedi, and William Kotzwinkle is E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Many people don't know that those were actually novels. James Clavell, one that's on this list, is Noble House. And we have a few James Michener works on this list. The first one is The Covenant. Robert Ludlum, Pre-Born series. The Matrice Circle. The next James Michener work, Chesapeake. And then we have The Silmarillion. And then we have Trinity, Ragtime, another James Michener work, Centennial, Richard Bach, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and which was also 1972, the first one, page 2. And we have Wheels, Love Story, Portnoy's Complaint, and then we have Airport, Elia Kazan. Yes, he wrote a novel, and it's called The Arrangement. And Jacqueline Suzanne, Valley of the Dolls. And then the last James Michener novel, The Source. John le Carré, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. And we have The Shoes of the Fisherman. We have Catherine Porter's Ship of Fools. not to be confused with the Tucker Carlson novel. We have The Agony and the Ecstasy. We have Advise and Consent. Now we have the famous Leon Uris novel, Exodus. And then Dr. Zhivago. And then we have By Love Possessed. And then Don't Go Near the Water. And we have Marjorie Morningstar. And then we have Not as a Stranger. And then we have The Robe, which was also the #1 novel in 1943, 10 years prior, interestingly enough. And then we have The Silver Chalice, and then From Here to Eternity. And then we have The Egyptian, The Big Fisherman. We have The Miracle of the Bells, and then a lesser-known Daphne du Maurier novel, The King's General. And then we have Forever Amber, and then Strange Fruit, just like the Billie Holiday song. If you want to look up the origin of Strange Fruit yourself, then go ahead. It is very grim. I am not going to discuss that subject matter in this video. But anyway, let's move on. We have The Song of Bernadette, and then we have The Keys of the Kingdom, How Green Was My Valley, The Grapes of Wrath, The Yearling, and then we have Gone with the Wind, both 36 and 37, both 1936 and 1937, and also number 36 and number 37 on page 2, coincidentally enough. And then we have Green Light, and then we have Anthony Adverse, the most obscure one that was #1 for 2 years. We have The Good Earth by Perlis Buck, also 2 consecutive years. And then we have a couple of Edna Ferber novels. The first one is Cimarron, which I've mixed up with the Cimmerian many times. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, The Bridge of San Luis Rey, Elmer Gantry, and then John Erskine is The Private Life of Helena Troy. And then we have Soundings, and then the other Edna Ferber novel, So Big. And we have Black Oxen. And now we are on the third and final page. We have If Winter Comes. We have Main Street. Then we have 2 Zane Grey novels. He's best known for Riders of the Purple Sage. That is not on this list. The ones that are in this list are The Man of the Forest and The UP Trail. And then let's get The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And then a very obscure H.G. Wells novel, Mr. Brightling Sees It Through. And then 2 Booth Tarkington novels, 17 and The Turmoil. Not Magnificent Ambersons and Alice Adams, as you may think. And then we have The Eyes of the World. And then there were 5 Winston Churchill novels, believe it or not, on this list. And they are The Inside of the Cup, Mr. Crewe's Career, which I guess you could say is the male equivalent of George Bernard Shaw's Mrs. Warren's Profession. Then we have Coniston, The Crossing, and The Crisis. Those are all of the Winston Churchill novels. And we have The Harvester, The Broad Highway, The Rosary, The Inner Shrine, which is the only anonymous work on this list. And then we have The Lady of the Decoration, The Marriage of William Ashe, and Lady Rose's Daughter. And we have The Virginian, and then we have To Have and To Hold. And we got a few first names. We got a few names: David Harum and Caleb West. And then we have Quo Vadis by Henrik Sienkiewicz. And then we got, we have Tom Grogan and Beside the Bonnie Briar Bush. And those are all of the #1 novels from 2022 all the way back to 1895.